Ryan, after a long successful career, you decided to hang up your boots at the end of this year. What's prompted that decision?
A number of things really. Age probably is one of them. My body telling me it's about time. I think my career's been winding down over the last couple of years now, and had a pretty significant back injury last year that's just kind of never gotten right. And the more and more I train, the worse it's getting. So I think now is the right time for my body and my mind. The time I came to Glasgow was a real decision for me as to continue my rugby career or to pack it in. And you know, I have no regrets about coming to Glasgow, and definitely those first couple of years. You know, I've made friends in that year that are still very close to me today. And yeah, the club's just been a great experience for me. I don't even know, 9 years of it, how long it's been. It's been a long time, but those first couple of seasons were for me when I really started to enjoy playing professional rugby as opposed to amateur rugby, and just enjoy the whole environment that comes with being a Glasgow Warrior. I came across from Edinburgh, having spent 3 years over there, and you know, obviously the big rivalry. And my first day we did a press, not a press thing, something with the fans up at Firhill, and obviously just getting loads of pelters being from Edinburgh from the Glasgow fans. And yeah, it was a bit daunting at first coming across, but it turns out to be one of the best decisions I made. I can pretty much attribute every aspect of my life now back to rugby. From you know, I met my wife through a night with the rugby lads, to friends, my best men, Chris Fusaro and P Horn, even guys like Andrew Eason, who I met back in you know, over a decade ago from Edinburgh Rugby. They're still some of my best friends today. And again, you know, in other aspects of my life, in work experience and things like that, can all kind of be attributed to things that have happened for me here at Glasgow Warriors.
And did you ever think when you first started that you'd end up representing your country, and how did that come about?
It was pretty whirlwind actually. My first couple of years, I kind of cracked into the team here, and then, you know, pretty happy with that, just being named in the team week in, week out. And then yeah, I was involved with the World Cup camp and never made it, and that was kind of my first experience of international rugby. And then the next summer I was on the summer tour, which was amazing. You know, my first cap, we beat Australia out there, and then Samoa and Fiji, which were experiences that I probably wouldn't have had out with rugby. So yeah, it was pretty whirlwind, and it came around pretty fast. But you know, some of the days of my life. You know, I played a fairly reasonable Six Nations for Scotland that year, and I think we came third. And you know, Lions started getting banded about, and people were speaking to me about it, and I think I had like 9 or 10 caps at the time, so it was just, you know,
just not expecting it.
Yeah, not at all. And then you start thinking about it a bit, because people keep mentioning it, and then it never happened for me. You know, I didn't get selected, and that was that. And you know, I was just grateful to be on the Scotland tour again, and out in Durban with the boys. And yeah, Scott Johnson called me up to his room and said, you know, we think your head's not in the game type thing for the Samoa game. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then he comes out with, we're only joking, you're off to Australia to join the Lions. Like I said, you know, just finding my feet with Scotland, and then wearing the British Lions jersey was pretty special.
What do you think you'll miss most about being a professional rugby player?
You know, like everyone enjoys the big games, you know, the finals, semi-finals, the European stuff, but I think the thing I'll miss most is just the environment and being around the boys. You know, getting to come in here and muck about with your mates every day for a living is pretty special, and it's not something to be taken for granted. Will
you always be a fan going forward? Will you be able to enjoy coming here and watching the games? Will you always keep an eye? Yeah, definitely. I think I'm so embedded in this club now. You know, I've invested so much of my time, my body into this club, and my family's so deeply invested as well. Glasgow will always be a huge part of my life, and the Warriors, and I can't imagine not ever supporting the boys. And like I said, you know, I've got friendships here that will last a lifetime, and you know, and you get to know the young guys that are, you know, that are coming in now at 19, 20 years old, and you know, and there's relationships there, and I want those boys to succeed, so I'll keep an eye out. And then looking forward, life after rugby lies in gin, to start with at least. Yeah. Me and Rory Jackson have set up our own little gin company out at the Garden Shed. Yeah, the Garden Shed Drinks Company. It's going really well. You know, we've had pretty good feedback so far. Thanks to the guys up at Eden Mill, and yeah, the plan is to grow that. You know, there's hopefully some other stuff in the pipeline
that'll come out over the next year or so, hopefully. But you know, something that I'm pretty passionate about now, and it's something that I've found out with rugby that gives me that same kind of drive. And if I can put the same focus into that as I have my rugby career, then hopefully it can be as successful.
How did you get into it initially? How was the first steps into thinking, actually this is something that I'd want to do going forward?
I went down the environmental route because obviously with the back injury there was a chance I was going to retire last season, and there was just nothing about it that really interested me. So I kind of had racked my brains, and I like drinking booze from time to time. So I got in touch with Paul Miller up at Eden Mill on LinkedIn, and he said, you know, come up. And Paul actually forgot that I was going, so I ended up spending the day with a guy called Jasper, who is a distiller up there. And I basically just had a good day with Jasper, and he showed me kind of the ins and outs and how to do it. And I probably consider him quite a good friend now, Jasper. And I spoke to Rory and my wife about it, and I was like, you know, this could be something fun for us to do. You know, like if life after rugby is going to be fun, then we should consider this. So we did, and it just kind of happened after that. You know, we took the idea to a few people, and we worked on a recipe, and then we ended up with Garden Shed Gin, and
tasted good.
I'm biased, yeah, but it's delicious. So yeah, we're kind of just growing that just now, and the plan is the future, hopefully, to have our own distillery, which we're talking to some people about at hopefully Douglas Lang's, and you know, the future is other drinks, hopefully, and our own little company, maybe, hopefully not so little one day.